So I want to introduce these next videos. This is 4 videos from the week that I'm really excited to present to you. And looking at them, they all kind of had a common theme, which I really didn't intend, but it was all things I was encountering during the week. And the common theme is running an agency and some of the pitfalls and the stress points and the speed bumps you run into. And so I kind of collected these and put them all together for the week just for you. So if you're an agency team member, do not turn out, because here's the thing. Some of the things we're going to talk about might resonate with you, right? So it might be a situation where at the end of the day, you're thinking, I play a little part in that, or that's a good thinking. I need to maybe do better at working with our producers. And if you're an agency owner and one of these things speaks to you, put it on your list of things to tackle or reach out to us for help. But without further ado, let's get started on the 4 videos this week all around how to run your insurance agency. This video is so timely because it's all about insurance goals. So we're in February, which means we should be checking in on those goals we set. Are we on track? Do people remember them? Big strategy I want you to take away from this is if your staff can't recite the goals, we have a problem. And we need to constantly be beating that drum into them. What are the goals? What are the goals? Hard to hit a goal you don't know. And that's why I want to make sure that we talk about that in this video. So I want to talk about something that maybe we're all starting to feel in February. You start the year off strong with goals and all sorts of great things that you want to make sure are happening. You have the launch, you're excited. And then all of a sudden we get to February, maybe you run your first report and you find out that there's a big disconnect between what was launched and the team's activity. If this is happening in your agency, first of all, you're not alone. It's happening in many small businesses. But I want to give you a few tips of how do we put that train back on the tracks. The first step is, I think you should just kind of do a little bit of detective work. Just go up and ask people, say, hey, just want to check in. Can you remind me what the goals are this year? If someone can't recite them, there is no connection to them. And that just means we have to do a better job. Next, you want to make sure that you're on track and on pace with reporting. We recommend weekly reports that keep everybody top of mind. And then, in addition to goals, we do think that you should tie the goals of the agency into the job descriptions. So one, if you're struggling to set goals, we have a whole performance pack that will help you do that. There's a calculator in there, it breaks down how to set a goal for every role in the agency, even a receptionist. And then 2, if you need job descriptions, we have another process pack that actually has all templated job descriptions for your agency that you might want to consider. But here's the thing. Most people, unfortunately, don't want to step on that scale. Goals can seem very vulnerable to a lot of people, right? It's saying, hey, I'm going to put myself out there and see if I can stretch out of my comfort zone. So there tends to be a lot of avoidance on goals. And so people kind of hold down and say, that'd be nice if we hit it. That'd be great to be able to get the bonus, or that'd be great to have that extra day off. But I'm going to leave it more up to hope or chance. As the leader, it's your job to put fire and gasoline into those goals. And I know that that's not always easy. You've got a lot of things on your plate. But what could be more important than your agency hitting those goals? And for you to take a little bit of time to make sure that they're on track. Don't throw in the towel if you're frustrated because you don't see people adhering to the goals or mentioning them. Another great strategy is to have something printed on everybody's desk. Have it in the break room. Have it as their desktop. What are the goals? Step 1 is everybody's got to be able to recite those goals. So subconsciously in their head, they're thinking, got to save this client, got to try to cross-sell, got to get this next deal. And they shouldn't be so complicated that you need to sit down and digest them and write out notes. They should be pretty simple. Those are our tips to get your team back on track with goals. It happens to everybody, but let's take it as an opportunity to leap forward now that you have a plan. This next video a couple years ago, we wrote a whole ebook on how producers and account managers need to just get it together and get along. And it still hasn't changed. In fact, I have some agencies that actually ask me, it's like, well, that's in every agency, they don't get along. And I just want to say, I can't get behind that. I think we need to be better. I think that we all need to figure out we're 2 different people. but all the extra time wasted is ridiculous. Producers don't walk on water and they need to do their part, and account managers can't be behind the 8 ball all the time. They need to do their part. But when we're throwing each other under the bus, nobody's winning. So watch this video on how to succeed. All right, everyone, let's talk about something that I see all the time and it makes me nuts, which is producers and account managers at each other's throats, throwing each other under the bus, not working like a team, and literally wasting everybody's time. And it's terrible for everybody. It's bad for the agency culture, it's bad for the client, and honestly, it doesn't solve a freaking problem in the world. So let's get better at this. Number one, you have to realize that there are 2 different types of people that run agencies: sales and service. And we need both. And it's even better when both work together. Like, it's amazing. Salespeople, here's the deal. They're commission driven. They're sometimes disorganized, which means that they might do things last minute. They might give you part of the information. Documentation, generally not their thing. I'm not making excuses. I think producers should challenge themselves to become better at these things, because the new producer has to be. It's no longer go to the golf club, grab a lead, and have a cocktail. We're talking about real things here. Now, the account manager is running around. I'm so busy. They're not doing sometimes the things that, they're doing transactions as opposed to a sales process. They're running around saying, I can't submit this to 10 different companies. I don't have time. And everything seems so dramatic. So both parties kind of avoid each other until the blow up happens. And this is not a way to do business. I'm going to quote the great Bill Belichick: do your job. It starts with the agency having clear roles and responsibilities. What is the producer responsible for? What is the account manager responsible for? Every account producer and account manager cannot be a pretty little delicate snowflake where we're recreating the wheel each and every time. That is trash and will lead to so much inefficiency, so much missed expectation, and so much drama in your lives. And that's not what we want, right? So clear roles and responsibilities, and then clear escalation. What happens if the account manager doesn't submit on time? What happens if the producer hasn't gotten back after 2 emails? What are we to do? And then there's just the idea that we blow everything up and we start fresh and we say, stop saying, well, I emailed the producer, they didn't get back to me. Did you email, call, text? Did you flag them down in the hallway? Or did you tuck it away and say, I've got other stuff to worry about? Because that's not what we're working for. And the same thing with you producers. You have to look at it like these account managers are doing an amazing amount of work. And great news, if you're not the agency owner, you know whose files get prioritized? The agency owners, because that's who signs their paycheck, right? That's who's going to give them the review and their bonus every year. So you need to kill them with kindness. You need to sell your account manager just like you sell a client. Butter them up, ask them what makes their job easier, and then do it, and you will see a big difference. But this whole, I didn't sell a deal because they didn't give me numbers, that's garbage. And this whole, I'm so busy, I can't get to submit this, I've got too much other stuff on my plate, is also garbage. Because if your paycheck depended on it, it would be a whole different scenario. So the bottom line is respect each other's roles and respect your differences, because it's what makes an agency grow and makes it great. But also realize that by us acting like toddlers, all we're doing is hurting our customer experience, which no one wants. So buckle up, buttercups, and let's try to be nicer to each other and try to work together on a game plan. It is not always a disaster, and it's not always he versus she versus it can be a lot better. That's our 3-minute tip for today, and we hope that we see you on the next one.
Are you an insurance agency with over 10 people in your small commercial and personal lines departments? Do you love our videos, podcasts, and content? If so, we heart you. We love you, love you, love you for that. We're pleased to announce our agency performance program. It's a 2-year program that gives your agency a butt kicking. No, we're here to make you ridiculously amazing, but you gotta get serious about it. We're gonna give you a plan for your agency with the support of my entire team and me, Kelly Donahue-Piro, as your coach for your agency, one and only. We'll start with an assessment of the agency and then get key metrics so we can be working on them. We'll launch your team efficiency and start a time management program. Then we're going to go into renewal review calls and install a sales process. You're going to get all of our process templates along the way and access to me as we hit any road bumps, speed blocks, etc. We're only taking 20 clients into this great program this year. So if you're interested, hop on right now. But it is only open to agencies with over 10 people that focus in personal and small commercial, and just the departments. Your whole agency doesn't, but we'll be working with that department. And you get unlimited attention from me. Who wouldn't want that, right? Maybe you do, but maybe the team doesn't. I don't know. Hopefully we get it all going. Reach out today so that you can secure your spot, and we'll see you soon.
Below your pay grade. If you're a team member, you got to listen to this because you need to start using some of the services agencies are investing in. Service centers, virtual assistants. It may not be pretty the first time, but it will get there. And you need to force yourself to do that, to do the higher level items. That is where this industry is going. Agency owners, if you're plugging every hole, you're not doing yourself any justice either. You need to be working within your pay grade to lead a business to success. Watch this video for how to tackle it. All right, so today we're going to talk about a topic that can be slightly controversial, but I think really important, which is, are you working below your pay grade? So I'm going to start by talking to agency team members. Here is the challenge. If your agency has this, so some agencies don't, but agency owners are listening to this, it might be a consideration over the course of the year. If you're doing non-licensed work, the agency is going to struggle to scale. And the non-licensed work is often what we call the interruption work, right? The payment, the auto ID card, the kind of just a walk-in stuff that happens. And so we strongly recommend agencies separate licensed and non-licensed work so that way the licensed people can focus on things in their pay grade. There is a difference in agencies between a pay grade of a licensed person and a non-licensed person. So if your agency has these resources, one of the pitfalls I see is, I don't send it to the service center because, it's just easier for me to do it. Or I don't send it over there because my client likes to talk to me. I don't send it to her because I don't like the way she does it. So I end up keep doing things below my pay grade. And so imagine in a situation like a doctor and a nurse, imagine a doctor was doing nurse's work. Is that the highest, best use of their time? No. And would patients' lives potentially be at risk? Yes. I use that analogy because when non-licensed work is getting sucked up by licensed people's time, if that's how your agency is set up, great news. We're not making renewal review calls. We're not following up on new business. We're not trying to quote over the phone, and we're not hopping on remarkets. You need to use these strategies so that you're staying within your zone of the job on the field. Now, I know for many agency team members, we like the easy work. We like the 2-minute task. It's brainless, it's thoughtless. I could do this all day long and never stretch myself. But the bottom line is that's not where this industry is going. And every team member that's licensed needs to be thinking about growing the book of business through retention, cross-selling, improving coverage, whatever it is, that's got to be the mentality. So the things that don't make us the most money, we need to get off people. Now I'm going to switch gears to agency owners. Many agency owners I've talked to are behind, stressed out, overwhelmed. And that's because when they look at their pay grade, they're doing jobs that are not in their pay grade. They're doing things because they have to, or they feel like they're the only person. I want to say that in today's world, you have more options than ever to outsource things. You can outsource your accounting. You can outsource your marketing. You can outsource, a lot of the account management jobs to the people you pay to do them. But if you feel like you can't trust them, that's a bigger conversation. I encourage every agency owner to fire themselves from one job a week. Could be something as simple as paying the cleaning company to come in. Whatever it is, you have to be intentional about freeing up your time. 5 minutes matters. And also too, if there are weak links on the team and you feel like you're compensating for them, that has to be addressed as a leader. You cannot continue that way. But be creative. There's a lot of ways to solve problems, even if it's just for 5 hours a week. There might be someone on Upwork, which is a contractor website that is happy to do social media posting for you for 5 hours a week. Get it off your plate and get it to somebody who cares and that's their true intention. But let's be honest, we can't keep working out of our pay grade. That's completely unscalable and kind of crazy too. So as a leader, this is going to be something that's incredibly important for you to consider. Any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to talk to you. Thanks so much. Last but not least, are you too nice? There's times where employees will come to us with a lot of requests, and you need to keep a clear head as a leader of protecting the business, the other team members, and creating something that is fair and equitable for both parties, not just one party. And when there's unclarity in the solution, it will definitely lead to missed expectations from either you or your team member or both. Watch this video for how to prevail. This is something that I've wrestled with, and I do a good job, and then sometimes I wrestle with again. It's the idea of, are you too nice as a leader? And I see a lot of agency owners out there that say, oh, well, our agency is like a family. And every time I hear that, honestly, I want to cringe. I want to be like, really? One, my family is super nuts, so I have bad PTSD on that. And second of all, I think to myself, your roles are super blurred if you're saying your agency is like a family, because the reality is you are the leader of a business. You are not running a community organization. And I know that there's a lot of things out there about like casual work office, unlimited vacation. We watch Netflix at work. And I want to say this, most of our agencies have over 10 employees. All that stuff is great until you hit a quantity of employees. Your internet bandwidth can't even handle streaming that. And with 10 people, there's going to be someone who's uncomfortable with a rated R movie being played in the workplace. And so what sounds hip and cool might be a challenge as you grow, but there's other ways to be hip and cool. So don't think that those are the only ways. But what I want to say is, if you're too nice, is this: if your team is constantly having some expectations that, you're going to build their job around their personal life, these things need to be addressed. If they're not addressed, other team members might feel disenfranchised. They might feel like, why did they get special treatment? I'd love that too, but I don't have that same situation. I want to be very clear that anytime you make considerations with employees, they need to be documented, and there has to be some give and take. So it can't just be, okay, work from home, and let's just say homeschool your kids. There also has to be some designated outputs associated with that. We've been doing the COVID thing for a long time, and unfortunately, COVID has become an excuse for many, many mishaps. My dog's Christmas present got lost because of COVID. Well, that didn't help America's first Christmas, let me tell you. We need to be better, and we need to have more boundaries and guidelines. And I'm not saying this to say that you need to be the worst boss on the face of the planet. I'm saying this because you have a business to run. And for me, hitting our goals in this business is one of my critical missions. So if things are on track, you can be more flexible, but it should be temporary. We should not sign any long-term agreements, because that leads to really poor expectations. But if your agency is behind in workload, not hitting goals, and the culture is suffering and there's infighting and conflict, you don't have the freedoms and luxuries to say, give in to every request from people. Your job is to be respected, not liked. And I know that this is hard, and I know people come to you with big eyes and say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Your goal at that point is to take a deep breath, namaste, sleep on it, and identify something that has boundaries and that can work for both parties and is clearly documented. Because generally these requests tend to come in times of emotion. And when people are emotional, they don't always recall and remember certain things. So you can be super nice and you can be super generous, but it should be because of a plan. It shouldn't be because you're getting requests to hit up and you're always bending over backwards. A client once told me this, and I thought this was really interesting as a female. So I guess, and I'm kind of ad-libbing here, the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she got a phone call, and her kid's school was calling all day. Now she's, on her way to being a justice of the Supreme Court. And she finally had a break, and she picked up and she said, XYZ is going on with your child. And she said, did you call my husband? I said, well, no, I was going to call him if I didn't get you. And she said to the school, you were to call me every other time. I'm doing this. He's also available. And I thought that was so important to say that, In many instances, it takes a whole team of people, and that you are a team with your employee. But that also means you have to protect the interests of the business and the entire team, not just one individual. And when you can set those boundaries, people respect them and work harder to find other ways so that you can still stay on track with your business. Now, some people out there are listening to me right now and be like, oh my God, she's a tyrant. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that there has to be boundaries and expectations. If there's something that COVID taught me, it's that going into something very gray area, which we all had to do. We all had to do it. There was no playbook for this stuff, but now I can play that Monday morning quarterback saying, you know what, early on, I needed to be a better leader and set some boundaries and expectations, say, we can do this, but this is how it's got to work. And that's how you're going to get respected. Now, of course, you can do whatever you need to do. I'm telling you, it's always going to burn you. And somebody's going to be upset. You're going to be upset. They're going to be upset because there's a lot of unclarity in that statement. We hope you've enjoyed our 3-minute videos. Let us know how we can assist your agency, and we'll see you in the next one. Well, that was our 3-minute videos for the week. We hope that you've enjoyed them, and we hope that you're going to take these tips and go back to your agency to make it ridiculously amazing. We've enjoyed spending time with you today, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
Is building processes and procedures top on your list to do this year? But you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. With so many things on your plate, how can you be ridiculously amazing at all of them? You just can't. It's not possible. Although I wish it was. And if someone has that method out there, let me know. But if there's only a template you could start with, would that change things? There is now. Our new Agency Performance Partners website has an entire section of process packs for your agency. Our process packs include not only the workbook, the templates, emails, scripts, and videos to go along with each section so that you're not alone. You can download them and tailor them exactly to your agency, but it gives you a place to start. And you get the best practices that we've developed over the course of time. What's better than that? We keep adding more every month, so you need to check in. But just to get started, we have winning back unsold quotes, setting goals for every role in your agency, 6 strategies to help you run your agency, job descriptions, a hiring guide, sales scripts, retention scripts, and personal lines endorsement checklists. And more are coming all the time, so you have to be on it to check it out. Follow our social media or emails to get in on the know. Head to our website for more details. You can see each process pack, and you can actually buy them right online. No need, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you are stressed about writing job descriptions, we got you. Also, most of them are $100 to $200, so they're very reasonable. And you get all the updates. If you're looking for something we don't have, let us know. We're happy to create it. But bottom line, if processes and procedures on your mind, we have you covered. You just have to go to our new website, go to the online store section, and you will see a whole section on agency process packs. We will see you there.